back, everyone. This is an exciting, inspiring moment in our 3 days here, and I want to welcome you back. A number of us were asked if we could dress in our traditional dress. Although I'm Irish, my maternal grandparents were from Scotland. My other great-grandparents were from Scotland, and I, by a sheer accident of war, was born in Scotland. So I am wearing the Graham of Menteith kilt, which is Scottish kilt. I last wore it in 1993, and the jacket doesn't fit anymore. This is not the jacket I should be wearing. It's a joy to be here with you. It's a joy to be able to participate in this little ceremony. But before we start, it's a great pleasure to invite the President of Bethel University, Dr. Jay Barnes, just to come and say a few words to us. He's been a very good host for the last few days, and thank you for that.
As is often the case in my job, I get the credit for hosting and everybody else does the work. So thanks to those of you who did the work, and welcome you to our campus, which we view as a gift from God. We're thankful that you've been able to enjoy it together, that you've enjoyed chances to walk and unwind, and we have weather appropriate to do that this time of year. Much easier to do it now than 6 months from now. But it's exciting to see your energy in coming together, learning from each other, hearing each other, learning to listen to different things that represent your own background, traditions, understanding of faith and culture, how those things come together. A very rich learning environment. As you know from the opening session, Bethel's journey in this has had its ups and downs. We are thankful for the up parts and sorry for the down parts, but grateful to have grown through getting to know good people from around the globe, people who are committed to making a difference. One of our hopes for Bethel education at all parts of the university is that it would better equip our graduates to make a difference in the world, wherever it is they find themselves during school and after school. And if our education doesn't connect somehow their heart, their head, their values, their motives, their vision of themselves, their vision of the world, the vision of not only what is, but what could be, then our education isn't worth what people pay for it. But many people here work to make that an education that has a big picture that we hope is expanded through our conversations in settings like this and others that we have during the school year. We're glad, again, to have you, to welcome you, and thankful for the journey that you're on, and trust that it will continue to be a good one for you.
Thank you. Thank you. As part of this determination to continue the journey that started quite a few years ago, and the creation of the Transform University, it was decided recently to establish a Council for Research and Innovation of the university. And I was given the great privilege of chairing that council. It is a great privilege as a non-academic, but I've been on this journey, and I continue to be amazed at the people we meet and the people that we work with. It was decided that as a first step in the formalization of the university, that we would this year acknowledge some people who have done amazing things in reality. And we are on the point of presenting 2 Master Acts and 2 Doctor Acts to people who have demonstrated what this Transform University is all about. There has been a proper process where the projects and achievements that they have carried out have been affirmed by their peers from their own countries and from those that know them. And they equally have shared with us the motivations and how they've gone about what they've done. You've seen in the last 2 days how their work is so fundamental to what we're all doing around the world and what we hope to do in the future. So I'm going to ask, first of all, Ronnie, if he would introduce the 2 Master Act candidates. And I'm proud to present them with this experience.
I'd like to introduce to you Steve Carter and Chidara Muchineripi and the panel of examiners or evaluators on the ground in Zimbabwe who have affirmed the extraordinary achievements of our 2 Zimbabweans. I introduce you to Richard Smith, who's a very prominent business person in the UK, who's taken a profound interest in what our 2 Master Acts have achieved in Zimbabwe. Ugari Kumbo, the ex-Minister of Agriculture, who spent a lot of time in Chinika and has singled out their project as a model for their society. Chandrak Magadza, Group Services Director at Cairns Food, who's been a major supporter in the corporate sector of what the 2 have achieved. And Tatenda Mundo, an environmental specialist who has been an advisor in the project throughout. All of them have concluded that they are well worthy of this award.
Congratulations. Now I'm going to invite Sam to introduce Raman Pasran.
Ramon, if you want to come up here. Ramon has become a good friend. He's one of our Doctor of Ministry students in Global and Contextual Leadership. Ramon's a very unique individual in that he came to America from the Dominican Republic as a young man by himself. And since that time, he's become incredibly accomplished. He's a former U.S. naval officer. He's a member of the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. He's an MBA graduate and has worked in the corporate world. But through all of that, he has had a burning passion about some of the issues still in the Dominican Republic, starving children, and the incredible poverty that still exists in his home country. And he has formed an organization here in the States called Impact Lives and is engaged in some amazing work cross-sectorally to help address the problem of poverty and starving children, packing hundreds of thousands of meals on a regular basis in partnership with churches, going into elementary schools and teaching the children about leadership and poverty and enabling them to pack lunches that are then sent all over the place to several different countries. And he's done some amazing work. One of the most recent is a formal partnership with the Minnesota, not Timberwolves, but Lynx, where they now are official sponsors of Impact Lives and this food, packing food for impoverished children with some really, really big events. And Ramon has done an incredible job. And the council that reviewed his work are Dr. Wilbur Stone, who's the professor of global and contextual leadership here at Bethel, over which he oversees Ramon and his work. Monica Little, who's the CEO of kind of an interactive marketing and firm that Ramon has worked with. Renee Blue, who's an educator that Ramon has worked with, as well as Steve Doggett, who is the vice president for Converge Worldwide. And all of them have written back using the forms that we asked them to fill out, just saying amazing things about the work that Ramon has done and the social innovation that he's created. And so we're very proud to honor Ramon with this Doctor Act.
Thank you, Sammy. Appreciate it.
now I'm going to invite Adel Rashid, please, to come and introduce my friend Maqbouleh.
I know Maqbouleh for the last 5 years, actually, through a conference held in Amman via the cooperation of Bethel University and Team International, where Maqbouleh is the managing director. But her name is well circulated in the academic circle, which I'm joining 20 years ago. I always hear my colleagues talking about her courses, training courses, management development courses, her consultancy, and so on. Maqbouleh, the first woman, management consultant woman in Jordan. She established an independent business in consultancy more than 3 decades ago in a very hardship place. And she was, since then, involved in literally hundreds of organizations via her consultancy business and training courses, and maybe hundreds of scholar people who were contributing to her courses were involved as well. Her contribution was evaluated by 5 well-known, prominent businessmen in Jordan who are directing companies in the private sector as well as in the civic sector. Mr. Mohammed Shaheen, he is the managing director and owner of one of the pharmaceutical companies, major pharmaceutical companies in Jordan. Mr. Ahmed Denat, he is the managing director of the largest electricity company in the north of Jordan. And Mr. Amr Jubran, he is the managing director of a large painting company in Jordan as well. Mr. Yahya Khalid, director of the Royal Society of Conservation Nature in Jordan, and Mrs. Samar Farid, she is the owner and managing director of an electronic solution company. I think Maqbouleh will deserve their award. That's all.
Say that there were 2 areas which we asked the evaluators to address.